All right, so let's get started. How I manage multiple income streams in my business. And, this is really something I'm excited to dive into because I always learn the most from other people and from about how to run a business when people are really sharing exactly what's going on behind the scenes of theirs. Don't forget, if you're not on the list for my weekly workshop series, make sure you sign up at NicoleLaloy.com/workshop. And here's what you're going to learn today. You're going to learn the income streams that I focus on the most and why, how I determine which income stream to focus on and when to sell them, and who I have on my team helping me behind the scenes and what exactly they do, and the tools I use to help me streamline my income streams. So why exactly are multiple income streams so important, right? And this is really a good question. And there's a bunch of benefits of them, right? And this is what multiple income streams have allowed me to do in my business and can allow you to do too. Serve more people, right? Instead of just helping 15 clients a week or maybe 20 clients a week in one-to-one sessions, or getting burnt out with 30 to 40 clients a week in one-to-one sessions, you can serve more people through multiple income streams. Because if you do things like a group or a book or a course, you're able to reach more people. You're able to kind of also have more free time in your schedule to create free content as well, if that's something that's important to you. But you can serve more people. They can have different ways to work with you. It also prevents burnout and adrenal fatigue. I'm not sure if you guys know what adrenal fatigue is, but it's when your adrenal system gets overloaded with cortisol. It's something that I've been struggling with for years. And, I really kind of got it, just through being overworked as a nonprofit social worker. I think that that's something really important to think about is, how are you dealing with with burnout? How are you dealing with stress? How are you dealing with anxiety? All of those things. And really, how can you, overcome it and set up systems for self-care in your business? And part of that means not being stressed about money, not being stressed about up and down roller coaster income. And that is why that is something that I am super passionate about, because I don't want you dealing with that, right? I don't want you dealing with so much stress. I don't want you dealing with so much of that in your business. So this is really important to consider. So Serena says, so this is where managing your emotions and feelings comes into play. I'm not sure what you're referring to, Serena. Can you give me more information? And also, multiple income streams do allow you to increase your profits while working less, right? And like I said, that's where it can come into play, where maybe you're creating more free content. Maybe you're like doing your hobbies, right? Maybe you're spending more time with your family. Maybe you are doing more trips, whatever it is, right? I went to Mexico for a few weeks. I didn't have to work a lot at that time just recently, right? So this is something that these are the benefits of multiple income streams. This is why I'm so passionate. And also, I think there really is a huge income disadvantage for women in business. And I think that's because we tend to focus more on the one-to-one service. We tend to really get involved with over-delivering and undercharging. And I think that is why our businesses stay stuck. I think that's why there's fewer, other than just gender discrimination and things like that, there's fewer women millionaires. There's definitely fewer women billionaires. There's all that kind of stuff coming into play. And, multiple income streams is one way to combat that. Sorry, you guys. Okay. So multiple income streams have brought multiple six figures into my business. And I'm saying that, and it feels a little awkward to say that, but it's true. It's reality. And I think that this is something that we as women entrepreneurs need to embrace more. We need to be more open to how can we create more wealth for ourselves? How can we create more abundance for ourselves? How can we make a bigger impact? And that is through multiple income streams. That can give you the income security you need to take things to the next level. So now I'm going to get into how I manage multiple income streams in my business, right? And if you're on, I see a few new people have joined us. Please say hello in the comments and introduce yourself and let me know if multiple income streams is part of your business already or something you want to add in. If you're watching the replay, drop this in the comments as well. So first I want to talk about how I determine which income streams to focus on and when to sell them. And the first part of that is goal chunking, right? Goal chunking means that I start with an income goal for the year and I break it down into the different income streams and sort of what I already have in my mix and the things that I want to add into my business. So for example, I might start out with a goal of $100,000. And then I would think about, which is the one income stream that's the biggest chunk of my income, making sure that aligns for 50% of your income, especially if you're newer to income streams and still trying to hit your income goals. It can really decrease your income if you try to tackle too many income streams at once, right? If you've made that mistake, raise your hand. I made that mistake a few years ago, so I totally understand where you're coming from. So goal chunking allows you to really look at, what do I need to focus on throughout the year? What do I need to do to hit my income in each of these goals, right? And this is something, truthfully, that I go into a lot of depth in I just did it in my challenge, in my 5-day breakthrough busy challenge, and I go through it with my clients. So if this is something you need more help with, definitely reach out to me if you're not sure how to do this for yourself, but this can be a whole training on its own. But, it really is breaking it down specifically into how many clients do I need to hit this goal? How many group programs do I need to sell? How many books do I need to sell? Whatever it is, or courses, right? If I launch a course, how much income does it need to bring in? This is where I see people make a lot of mistakes, right? Is they try to focus on too many income streams at one time. One of the things that has helped me be successful with multiple income streams and scaling with the multiple income streams is really focusing 80% of my attention on one income stream at a time, right? So that means, for example, when I'm filling my mastermind, which, you guys can go check out now at NicoleLeBoyer.com/mastermind, I am focusing the majority of my attention on that. Now, listen, I signed on a brand new one-to-one client the other day out of nowhere, right? So if I have opportunities that come up and space for them, I can take them on. I don't have to close off any of that, right? I don't have to say no to it, but it doesn't make sense for every single person to be offering them everything I have. They get overwhelmed, they get confused, they're not sure what to do, they tune out, right? So I think it's really important to be intentional about one income stream at a time. So I really look at my year and I think about, what am I doing each quarter and then each month, right? So there are going to be times where I'm filling my mastermind and that's the heavy focus. There's going to be times where maybe I'm filling one-to-one spots. That's a heavy focus. Last year, for example, I did a summer training series and then I used it to fill one-to-one spots. And that's because it was new. I really didn't know what to expect from that summer training series. And it really ended up being super successful, and I ended up filling a lot of one-to-one spots, which was awesome. Now, I might have been able to use that for a group or something else, but I didn't know it at the time, so it was just kind of easy to use it to fill one-to-one spots, and it worked out really well. I pretty much didn't have any open one-to-one spots except for current clients for a few more months. I couldn't even take them on if I wanted to. So, this allows you to kind of breathe easy and put the income stream aside and then do what you need to do to have more scale, right? Which is maybe growing your list or things like that. So this is really important. And this is how, once again, I set myself up for multiple income streams. Okay. Sorry, you guys, I was just checking the live stream. It wasn't looking like it was caught up. Okay, so now I want to talk about the income streams that I focus on the most and why, right? I am a service-based business primarily, right? So I started out with a therapy practice, a local counseling practice in person, and then I added in coaching services. And then a few years ago, I transitioned fully into once again, making sure that I was able to scale up and to add in other income streams because I knew I didn't want to be in the office every day with one-to-one clients. I knew that I wanted to serve people other ways. I saw the benefit of groups and things like that. And I really wanted to be able to help clients with that. So I added in new income streams. I also had already added in affiliate income, which was a passive income stream, which took the pressure off having to fill client spots all the time. So I think that this is really quite important to think about, right? So the income streams that I have right now, these are the primary income streams, right? I have a group, it's called the Unstoppable Business Accelerator. And this was a long-term group program with lower level support, meaning it's group calls, there's more people in it, and there is trainings, right? They also get a monthly training. It's actually a live training, which is really fun. And basically that is a big piece of it, right? So it is a lower level group and it allows me to serve more people and it allows them to get support, you know, in their business that is still personalized without it being a course or anything like this where they're going through it on their own. Then my other program is a mastermind, which is, you know, what I'm working on right now. You guys go check it out at NicoleLeloy.com/mastermind. It's really incredible. Now with the mastermind, there is a level that has one-to-one support. So it's sort of a hybrid. So you can do just the group level or you can get some one-to-one support as well if you want. Now this is a smaller group. It's more intensive. There's more coaching calls. There is also some content involved for people who want access to it. For example, you get access to my goal chunking system, things like that. A lot of templates I have, all kinds of cool things. There's also group calls, there's also work sessions, things like that. So this is definitely something that, you know, I've been working on for years. This is my baby. I love it. Once again, when I'm filling my mastermind, I don't have as many one-to-one clients because, you know, I have to be able to evenly split my time. It's not just about selling, it's also about really delivering well. So that is absolutely something to just kind of be aware of, right? And then one-to-one services, I still have some one-to-one clients. Like I said, I just filled a one-to-one client spot the other day. I don't take on tons of one-to-one clients. I don't usually do big pushes for one-to-one clients except last summer. As I was going through a transition with my business and, you know, but it's totally fine. A lot of times you guys have one-to-one services and you're getting kind of burnt out by them. It's important to realize you're probably not going to do a quick switch unless you have a huge engaged audience to groups, but you can add them in, but it's going to be complementary. It's going to be a smaller piece of your income in the beginning until you can kind of phase out one-to-one more, right? As you build up an audience. Affiliate income, I love. Affiliate income is just sharing, you know, like sharing resources and allowing people to buy it through your link. So it's like you get a commission basically. I love this one because it's passive. It allows me to, one, I would already be sharing links to these things and talking about them. So it just kind of allows the company to profit and to share the profit with me since I'm bringing them customers. I love it. It's really quite a great way to connect with others, right? And to support other businesses and to give more, give your clients solutions to things that you can't offer them, right? So, you know, just for example, I'm obviously not going to create a tool that helps people send out emails, but I can offer my clients, you know, the information about the email tool that I use and give them a link for it, right? So that's affiliate income. Now, some other income streams that I have are things like investments, dividends, books. I do still have a book that's for sale on Amazon. I put no focus on it, haven't taken it down, but it's still there. I have a couple of like Tripwire type courses that after you sign up for my email list, you can absolutely like be pitched for a low cost course. It brings in some sales every so often. So these are all things that are my income streams, but you know, really the four are the primary, right? And it is important to make sure once again, like that you are equally focusing on them at different times. So that you're not focusing on them all at once, but that, you know, they're getting the bulk of your attention. One of them is getting the bulk of your attention at any one time, right? So I think that's really important to kind of just focus on. and kind of just really think about, and this is truly, like I said, what I do. I don't have tons of other things for sale. I have a course, I haven't sold it in a while because I was focused on launching that group program. And these are all things that, that these are the bulk of my income streams and that I manage and that bring me in six figures, have brought me in multiple six figures into my business. And the truth is many of these income streams have brought in six figures individually when you look at them. Maybe not all in one year, but over the past couple of years for sure, it's totaled up to six figures over time. So these are super valuable. And the more that I can do with staying in touch with them and staying in on focus on them rather than kind of going off to try out a million other things. That's what's allowed me to get ahead. That's what's allowed me to be a leader in my niche, right? Helping service providers scale with multiple income streams. All of my programs focus on that to a certain extent. People are at different places in it. In the process, like you might be, right? And I, once again, would love to hear where you're at in that process, but this is what it is. And my clients don't have to have the same income streams as me. I focus on what's best for them in their niche and their target market. And I think that's a huge distinction because a lot of other coaches and consultants really teach the method of you need to do it this way, right? I really look at my clients' strengths, and that's why I don't have tons of programs either, because I don't want to create all these random courses for them to go through that aren't actually applicable to their business model. Some of my clients have income streams that me and other clients tell or decide they shouldn't do, right? Meaning that once again, a group isn't going to work for everyone. A mastermind isn't going to work for everyone. Affiliate income isn't going to work for everyone. So this is not about me telling you, you need to do all these income streams. This is about us working together to find your best income streams, just like I've had to with mine. And there's a lot of things that go into play with that, which is why I don't do tons of courses that are like, try this income stream, launch a course overnight. A lot of it has to do with our personalities, our strengths as a leader. And that's why some income streams work for some people and not for others. So my personality is actually a bit more introverted. So even though it seems like I would do better with one-to-one, I found that, doing the masterminds are awesome for me because people can have the group access and the one-to-one access, and it allows me to serve them better and give them that support. And it allows me to serve the one-to-one clients I have better too, because I don't have to just see one-to-one clients and get burnt out that way. So once again, this is all about figuring out what's best for your personality as well. But this is what I've found is working for me right now. And it may change over time. Now, who do I have on my team helping me behind the scenes, and what exactly do they do? This may or may not surprise you, to be quite honest, right? Because I have a really successful business, but I see a lot of people rush to hire big teams, and that can really lower your profits. I live already in an expensive area, so my profits do need to be higher than maybe other people's. Hey, Chrissy. So I think that this is something important to think about, right? Who's on your team? Who's on my team helping me behind the scenes, and what exactly do they do? So I am very, very, very blessed in that I have a project manager who started out as a VA, and she also has a team with her. So I am able to have one person who I'm dealing with get a lot of stuff done, right? So I'm not dealing with her whole team. I'm just dealing with her. She's my connection. She does a lot of stuff for me, but she can also give other tasks to her team. So she helps me manage all my projects, my launches, things like that. And her team also does a lot of the collaterals. They do a lot of the design work. They do a lot of the creation of sales pages and things like that. They do updates on my website, things like that. So I'm very lucky in that I'm very lucky in that she's amazing and skilled, but I was also strategic in that I looked for someone who had skills in a bunch of areas because I knew I wasn't going to want to have to manage a lot of people. I was going to want one person. Now I'm really excited because I recently brought on another virtual assistant to my team. I had someone kind of behind the scenes helping me with email management, but I knew that I needed someone for more hours to do some customer service and to also help me stay on top of certain tasks and my schedule. I am not a details person. especially in my business, because I'm so on top of details in my clients' businesses. They're always amazed at what I remember. But when it comes to my own business, it can kind of go out the window. So I have really had to make sure that I am staying on track with my clients, right? And that I am getting someone to help me do that. So someone to help me with things like managing my schedule, managing client bookings, client management, some more client management just behind the scenes, right? Making sure questionnaires are completed, things like that are done. She's also helping me manage my my outreach and I'm focusing on visibility a lot, right, this quarter. So she's helping me get that, right? She's helping me get that in place. And she's helping me stay on top of that and helping me track and manage that, because it's a lot to be reaching out to people, to be following up, and all of that. So she's going to help me make sure that I'm staying on top of that. And she's also was a great support during my launch, providing customer service, providing engagement support in my Facebook group. So she might do things like send clients a resource if they need it, so I don't have to go search it out, right? Those are things that I am not good at excelling at. Those are things that she's good at. So it's really for helping me with the details of things. Then other people that I hired over the past year, for one-off type things, but are not steadily on my team. I've hired a writer, a copywriter, to help me with sales pages, emails, things like that. Sometimes I've hired a tech person. I really haven't had to, once again, because my project manager does so much of that. But, you know, in the past, I wanted to put that on there. You may need a web person for a quick fix on your website. I remember I was doing a membership, a program a couple years ago, a course, and like I had so much trouble with things linking. I really needed someone who was very good at code. It cost like $50. Just found her, fixed it, right? Saved me hours of stress and worry and fear. Somebody that I hired last year that's pretty cool. It was a curriculum development expert. So she actually went through my content with me and helped me make sure that I was presenting it in a way that was going to help my clients, right? Because I didn't really trust myself. I never felt like a teacher. I know people were being helped by what I was creating, but I really wanted it to be structured in a way that helped them learn. So she kind of went through all of that with me. And then I also believe in energy work, right? And you're like on your business team, but you know, like I said, launches are draining. I'm an introvert. I have to be aware of my energy. So I have had an energy worker on my team to help me keep up with things. Now you guys may be wondering about hours and stuff like that, or what does this look like? Well, my project manager does 20 hours a month. We started out at 5 hours a month, right? Went up to 12 and then went up to 20. Now here's the thing, you guys, it doesn't have to be, like this huge investment. Like I see people freak out all the time about this, but it doesn't have to be this huge investment of hours. This is something that I actually help my clients a lot with, figure out who's going to help them, you know, scale up, who's going to help them give the support, who's going to help them save them money in their business. If I tried to do all the things that my project manager, my virtual assistant, the writers do, I would never get anywhere because I'm not good at a lot of those tasks, right? So I make sure that they're doing tasks that I'm not good at. And that, also tasks I don't like to do. That's a lot of the detailed oriented tracking stuff. So the project manager is 20 hours, and that increases at times if we're cleaning up things, or if we are if I'm in a launch, right? Like obviously then she's working on a sales page, emails, things like that. So it definitely is helpful. Now, that's also sort of why I brought the virtual assistant on, to help with some of the smaller tasks that don't need as much skill. And for her, I'm just starting out at 10 hours a month. She came in during a launch, poor thing. So I think she's been doing a little bit more, but I'm saying 10 hours a month. So once again, we're just kind of keeping an eye on that. So this is 30 hours from other people, but you don't have to start out with that. You can just start out with a few hours. Literally, once again, my first VA was years ago and was 5 hours a month. And, you know, that really did open up a lot of opportunity for me to not have to learn how to do everything, which would have taken much more than 5 hours, and then actually doing the tasks on top of it. So, you know, this looks crazy and looks expensive. It's not really. It's not that expensive. But once again, you may need other tasks. You may need other team people. You may need a focus on things depending on your personality and your skill, right? So, you know, this is something to definitely think about. If you guys have any questions about this, let me know. I'm happy to answer. I would love to know if you have people on your team, if you thought about it. Now, here are the tools that I use to help me streamline my income streams, okay? The first one is a client management system. I use 17 Hats. Now, I just started with a new client, and I told her immediately to get a client management system. Because she's actually a branding person, a web designer, and she was using all these different tools, and she was having to recreate a lot of things, and it was wasting a lot of time. So client management systems, and again, like, this can depend on your business too. You know, client management systems definitely are so helpful. And, you know, if you're someone in the health and wellness field, I recommend you check out Healthy or Practice Better. Healthy is spelled IE at the end. If you are a therapist, check out something like Simple Practice, right? If you're in another field, you can definitely look at 17 Hats or Dubsado. There's so many options out there for you. And it really is, like, once again, so helpful to have everything in one place. Some handle scheduling. I don't. I use a separate calendar, Acuity. But they handle contracts. They handle invoices. They handle questionnaires. So once again, I'm not having to send everything separate. I'm able to kind of just send everything straight through there, and all the work is stored in there as well. Also, if you're doing something like quotes, you can also send out quotes to people before they accept the invoice. You can set up workflows so it kind of automatically sends things to people. It really is super, super helpful. The other thing is, so this is definitely something you want to look at. And honestly, I do think that this is something you want before you think you're ready for it, because it just creates more work later on. I now use, like I said, you can use your client management system to send out invoices. And if you're doing something like a payment plan, like, I know that 17 Hats actually will send a monthly invoice automatically. So that's pretty awesome. I am at the point where I use ClickFunnels for sales page and order forms. By the way, if you guys have questions about a client management system, or you're not sure, I just mentioned a bunch of them, just send me a message, send me a PM, or send me an email to Nicole@NicoleLaloy.com, and let me know what you're kind of looking for, and I will give you my personal recommendation for it. Because I know it can be confusing. So I use ClickFunnels for sales page and order forms. You may not need this yet at the level of your business, because I do group programs and have sales and things like that. It is something that I have, and I even use the order forms for one-to-one clients right now. And my one-to-one clients, I should say, are also initial. I haven't right now. The way I work with people is it's initial 4-month package. And then after that, many of my clients want to sign on again. So I do have continuation packages starting at 6 months for people, you know, with different options. So, you know, it really is awesome to have these different options for people. And, you know, what I like is that I can send over people a pay in full and a payment plan option. And the order form can have both of those right on there. So if I'm talking to someone, you know, I could just send them the link to pay. I don't have to say, like, hey, what are you doing? Let me send you an invoice. Totally okay if you do, but, you know, that the way my programs are set up right now, I don't have to do that anymore. A couple years ago, when I was kind of like constantly changing packages, and, you know, I had at one time had a bunch of different one-to-one packages. Now I just have the one. I had a bunch of different one-to-one packages, and it was confusing, because it would be like, hey, do you want this package or this package? And if you want this package, do you want to pay in full or do you want a payment plan? So I was kind of constantly, you know, having to create new invoices, and I was using PayPal buttons, which are also helpful for payment plans. But, you know, this kind of has just made it easier because I'm just consistent with my pricing for everyone. So that is absolutely, if you guys have any questions about these tools, if you use tools, you know, this is it. So I use the sales page and order forms for every one of those income streams, right, that I'm selling personally. The calendar system is for consults and clients, right? One-to-one client sessions. The client management system, typically I use it for people in my one-to-one program and people in my mastermind. Because they're getting contracts, they're getting questionnaires, things like that. The bigger, lower level program, I just use Typeform for an initial questionnaire. I didn't need to have to set up every single client with a client management account. So there's all kinds of things you can do for this. And you don't need everything at once. Now, the project management system I use is Trello. This is free. This is a board system where you have like a board and like different cards and different lists, and you have different boards for different projects. I don't actually work well with checking a lot of boards, as we found out. So typically, you know, we may have different boards to kind of keep track of processes, systems, things like that, right? Like what's all involved in a launch. So we can repeat it each time, but then the tasks are put for me on a current workstation. Sorry, you guys, something's like rattling. I thought maybe I had an alarm going off. So in a current workstation. So this is like, once again, super helpful, super important to just kind of think about, you know, do people need to see what you're working on? Do you need to see what people are working on? You don't always need this at the start with a team. You know, I've had VAs in the past that were just a couple of hours per month and we didn't do it. I think that truthfully, I am a communicator. I do talk a lot with my team. It's just my style. So the Trello board was better than having kind of all these emails kind of pile up, get lost, that kind of thing, search for things. So we can kind of see everything there. We could search through old cards, old tasks, things like that. So Chrissy is saying this is the stuff that overwhelms me, like seriously overwhelms me. So Chrissy, which part of things overwhelms you? Is it tools in your business, things like that? Now, once again, you guys, I did not start with all these tools at one time. I added in things one at a time so I could adjust, right? So like I said, the project management system I use is Trello. Asana is another popular one that, you know, you definitely see a lot. It's more list-based. One thing that I struggle with Trello is I have a lot of my own tasks. I'm really good about it for team tasks and things like that. But I definitely have a lot of items on my to-do list that I don't always add in there. I don't think that is a good thing because then it could be hard for my team to know what else I'm working on. It could look like I'm working on nothing, which isn't true, promise. So yeah, so a project management system for sure. It can be helpful, especially when you do have different income streams, different launches. Like I said, we're able to have cards and like, you know, that's just what they're called in Trello. I know this is a little confusing, don't worry about it. But we're allowed to have processes in Trello that we can repeat easily every time for a new launch or a new program or something like that. And we don't have to worry about it. Accounting system. So this is helpful for tracking. The accounting system is helpful for tracking money, right? Obviously, and also money from each program. You want to know that the different income that you're bringing in from things. You want to be really clear in like how much, you know, like I said, you have your income goal set up. So you're going to have an income goal set up for one-to-one services and for your programs and stuff like that. And if you don't hit it, then you have to kind of figure out if you need to adjust, right? So an accounting system is great too, because it can track your income for each program. So when I receive income for each program for whoever's paying, you know, it definitely is assigned to different income streams. So you can get as specific as you want, right? So I have it assigned to my different income streams, my different programs, things like that. So I can really track what's doing well. What do I need to focus on more? Now, of course, the other tool that I use for everything is Google, and I use Google everything, right? This is created right now on a Google presentation. I use Google Sheets to create spreadsheets. to create calendars and stuff that I share with my clients, templates for them. I use them to keep track of my own things. I use Google Documents for stuff, Google folders for things, right? Google Documents for info about each of my programs for clients, so they can easily access it and don't always have to look for an old email somewhere. I use it for my own stuff. We use Google Drive for all our documents and stuff like that, pictures, photos, all storing all of that kind of stuff, images for each program. So that is something too that is all kind of handy and put together, that my VA has helped me with. So that is that. Those are all the tools. Those are the main tools, you guys. I wanted to kind of keep it simple. It seems like a lot, but many of them work together or are automatic. Oh, and actually now that I'm thinking about it, on my team is also an accountant and bookkeeper, right? So last year I actually hired a bookkeeper just because it was too much income and everything to keep track of every month and to stay on top of. I was kind of going crazy, adding it all up later. You know, I think that is definitely something to think about. So a bookkeeper and, you know, accountant as well. So if you guys have any questions, drop them below and I'm going to go through them. I see some stuff there. And in the meantime too, if you would like a complimentary income breakthrough session, this is, you know, a 30-minute session where we're going to look over your income streams and look at, you know, how can you manage multiple income streams? Is that what you should be focusing on? What needs to be your focus next? You can grab one at NicoleLeloy.com/consult. There are limited spots available. I don't offer these frequently, so take advantage. Okay, so Chrissy says she struggles with email and ClickFunnels and she knows the importance just getting them set up and going. She learns better hands-on. So I do too, Chrissy. So, I mean, listen, some of it, the more you use it, the easier it will get. A lot of them have hands-on tutorials for you. I don't think you need something like ClickFunnels yet. You definitely do need to be building an email list if you haven't started yet. So I know something like, you know, ConvertKit has like tons of you know, training videos for you. I personally kind of learn better figuring things out. I probably should watch more training videos, but the other thing you can do is you can hire a VA for an hour who's familiar with it and just kind of ask your questions and have them share have them share a screen with you and go through it. Tons of people will do that for you. Sometimes my VA, even my project manager, creates videos on how to do something for me, or, you know, as we've been kind of familiarizing my new VA with the team. So we kind of just don't have her creating new processes. You know, my project manager has filmed tons of like step-by-step standard operating procedures, shared her going through the exact steps. So you can absolutely have people do that for you. And I think that's the thing, we do kind of complicate things. You know, it definitely makes more sense to pay someone $50 to teach you something than it does to spend hours and hours or waste a lot of time not signing up for something, right? So I think that's really important. Do you think using Constant Contact or Mad Mimi type is the best? I recommend ConvertKit. I don't have experience with Constant Contact. When I've seen the emails are kind of not like attractive to me. So I don't know either of those, so I couldn't recommend it. If anybody does want to check out ConvertKit, by the way, go to NicoleLeloy.com/ConvertKit. They're actually having this really cool landing page thing right now, where they're kind of having a contest and they're taking you right through creating landing pages for your freebies. That can be really fun. Also, the thing that I see a lot of people do is they they waste a lot of time looking for free tools. And I'm all about like not wasting tons of money on tools you don't need. But I think that, you know, this is a business. You do want it to bring in money. And just like I told you with my client the other day, like she was kind of like worried about a client management system, but at the same time, like I know it is absolutely holding her back from getting clients because her stuff's all over the place. So, you know, there are times where you are going to absolutely have to make investments in your business. So don't let that hold you back. Like, don't be afraid of that. Like, if you really want to go all in and create income and scale your business, you know, you're going to have to actually like invest in those things. So I think that is important to remember as well. So Christy also said, I like it's better that it's month, not on the weekly. Yeah, there's tons of VAs who will just work for you per project or a few hours per month. Obviously, if they're just a few hours per month, it's not like you're going to have access to them every day. So keep that in mind. That's important to remember for people who are out there and are thinking about these things. And, it's just something to keep in mind. But for those of you who are on, definitely grab the income breakthrough session. I'm excited to talk to you. So Christy says, good point. Didn't realize I could do 1 hour or 2 with a VA. Yeah, you don't have to sign up for 1 million hours. You know what I mean? You don't have to get into this huge commitment. I think we get so stuck in fear and anxiety around things we don't know. We forget that there can sometimes be easy solutions. The solution isn't always us learning something that is going to hold your business back, right? You always mastering something and holding things back is always trying to do it yourself is going to hold your business back. So that is definitely something important to remember. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for attending today. I'm happy to be back on track with weekly workshops. If you have any topics that you'd like to see, please email me at nicole@nicolelaloy.com. I'd love to go through those with you. All right, if you need anything, just let me know and I will talk to you guys soon.